it's Chris and Tammy, and we are making some good old fried chicken today. And Chris had bought chicken legs because they were on sale, so that's what we got. It's a bunch of chicken legs. I'm gonna beat up a couple of eggs to go on these legs. That rhymes. And we're gonna fry up some just good old plain granny fried chicken, salt and pepper. Okay, that's good kind. Let me get my salt and pepper. So, here's my chicken. They're legs, and I dried them a little bit so that the egg would stick to them good.
All right, there's only, I guess we're on Collar Valley Cooks because there's only 3 people on here.
It'll change.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So I'm just going to take each piece. Let's salt and pepper them first. So we're going to salt and pepper it. Good. Pepper. Pepper's really good on chicken. Good, good, good.
This is for those of you whose mama or your granny used to put the chicken on there with a little bit of grease. And
it takes longer.
Yeah, put the lid on it, cook it forever. That's what we're about to do.
Yep. And it's going to take a minute. This video is not going to be quick because we are making sides to go with it as well. And it takes a minute to fry bone-in chicken. All right? And we're not going to be eating raw chicken. So, all you do is dip it in the egg, salt and pepper it, put you some self-rising flour on it. If you don't have self-rising, you can use all-purpose, but self-rising tastes better. I need something to put this on, Chris. Can you just get me that little tray right there?
How about just a plate? Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you, Chris. Hope y'all are having a wonderful Sunday. We will be heading out to, if you don't mind, go ahead and turn those skillets back on low. The lowest setting. So he's going to turn our skillets on low, and we're going to get some Crisco in them in just a minute. While this chicken is sitting here a second, we'll melt that shortening. But we want our skillets to be warm so that it don't take all day to melt the shortening and bring it to a good temperature.
Okay. It's done.
All right, so Granny used shortening to fry her chicken. So that's what we're doing today. Now, you can use oil if you want to. You would just use it at about the same depth as what I'm going to be putting the shortening in.
Or you can use lard if you want to use lard.
Oh, yeah. You can use anything, really. Peanut oil,
That's
corn oil, olive oil. It's up to you what you want to use. It'd be expensive to use olive oil, but if it's a special occasion and you don't eat fried chicken much, I guess it would be fine. Now, self-rising flour does have a little salt in it, which is nice. And I think it makes the coating crunchier than all-purpose flour does. And why wouldn't it? It's got baking powder and stuff in it. So that's why I like to use it for all my breading, whether it's chicken or beef or vegetables. I like to use my self-rising flour. I need just a little bit more flour, baby. Chris helps me along, and that way I don't have to wash my hands in between. That's probably enough. Go ahead and dip these. We just got 2 left, y'all. Y'all tell me if you remember your granny frying chicken in a skillet on the stove. And it taking a while. Get the lid on there and bringing it up. It's not like deep frying it. It's like, you know, it's a lot cheaper to do it this way.
Yeah, you don't use anywhere near the amount of oil.
No.
Hey,
But now I've got to fry 2 skillets since we're live today. Me and Chris are going to go see the kids. We're going to take them some chicken. We told them we'd be there. We're going to be a little late. I'm a little late coming on for y'all, but you know what? It's better late than never. All right. Got it. We're going to have plenty of time to clean all this up while we're frying this chicken. But I got to wash my hands before I could drop it. Good to see everybody. Y'all tell us what you're having for lunch today if you cooked something good. And let me know if you've made one of my recipes and which one's your favorite. That would be nice to know. I have got so many fried chicken recipes. Woo! Look at that chicken. Look at that chicken. All right, I got potatoes over here boiling, so I'm going to take the lid off of them. We don't want them to boil over. And I'm going to turn them, well, they're at about the right temp. So they're okay. We're going to drop some Crisco in here. Get it to melting and start dropping this chicken. I think it'll take about 2 of those. And while that's getting hot, we're going to pour 3 cans of green beans in this pot. We're going to have some creamy green beans. Let me show you how easy it is. Put in 3 cans. I use this big thing so I don't have to wait 30 minutes because it takes it about 30 minutes in a smaller pot. As long as it's nonstick, they do a good job. Okay. And you're going to add some olive oil, about 1/8 cup. And 1 tablespoon of sugar. Sugar, baby. You're talking about delish. Somebody just sent me a message this week and said she tried our granny green beans for the first time and she just thought they were delicious. And she said, I'm doing them that way from now on. I thought, yep. If somebody don't like them, they probably didn't cook them right. That's what I think. Let's put the lid on these. They need to get hot now.
And really, your chicken should start to look kind of wet after it sits there a little bit. You want it to sit out ideally about 10 minutes before you.
Yeah, we're not going to let it sit there that long, but.
Tammy never does that.
No.
She gets in a hurry. She gets in a hurry.
We're having a good meal today. I could have made a dessert in between, probably. I'm going to have time. I think I'll have time. Here we go. Y'all ready to start dropping this? Let me get me a hook. Now, I'm just going to put the little end of it in there and see if it's hot yet. That's all I'm doing, to check it first. Nope. Nope.
It's going to be a little bit.
Yeah, I turned it up. We don't have to wait till it gets hot enough, y'all. So y'all tell us where you're from while we're waiting, and maybe Chris can relay the messages, or if you have a question, if he can see them fast enough. Let me get me some ice. Pouring me a sweet tea, y'all. They ain't nothing better than good old sweet tea.
Oklahoma City, Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. I bet they like our accent. We would like theirs.
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
Don't even try. North Texas.
Six, isn't it?
Tammy can't say Massachusetts.
I can't say a lot of things.
There's
right.
a chew in it. Massachusetts. Delaware, Michigan. Mississippi, Tyler, Texas.
Texas.
Oklahoma. Earl Campbell.
All right, here we go. Legs. They were cheap, y'all. Wasn't they, Chris?
They were buy one, get one.
They were?
Yeah.
Again, you got to buy one.
So
get
they
one.
were. It was about $6 for all those legs. Well, it was under $6 actually.
If you don't have an iron skillet like this, I'm telling you, they're good for everything. You know, like I use my iron skillet to even make gravy, and sometimes your gravy will want to boil over a little bit in a regular one. But, buddy, you get one of these, you can make a lot of gravy at one time without having to worry about that.
I saw Kentucky in there. I saw Southern California. People from everywhere. Everybody likes fried chicken.
Oh, yeah.
The whole world.
There ain't nothing better than southern fried chicken or just fried chicken.
You don't have to be in the southern.
Oh! That one bit us. I have no idea why it done that. I decided it was going to bark at me. I was trying to make more room because look, I don't really have room for another one.
No, it's perfect.
All right, we're turning these up. And getting them a little bit brown. And then once you brown them, once you get them good and brown, and you don't want to brown them too much because they're going to sit in there for a while. But once you do that, that thing squirted on my glasses. Then you can put your lid on them.
Arkansas and Kansas. California.
You know you're cooking when you got grease on your eyeglasses, don't
Yeah,
you?
that's serious cooking.
Yeah. What I'm talking about.
Real.
Looks good, don't it, y'all? Boy.
You must have not got the water off then.
Well, they
or something. Going crazy.
I did rinse them in the drum. So maybe I'll put a little on them right now, just for a minute or two. All right, here's our green beans. And it takes them a minute to get hot. I should have put the lid on these two. Anytime you want to be a little quicker, you could put the lid on something. Let's see if these over here are getting any browner. They smell like it. I don't remember which one I put in first. I think it was this one. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Then you're just going to rotate them. And as they, well, this one ain't as hot over here. Ooh, it smells so good already. Y'all. Good already. So you're just rotating them and getting them a little bit brown. What is it, baby?
About to start a grease fire.
Oh, no.
Well, that was flaming up pretty good.
Hey. Hey, hey, hey. Let's see how this one looks. See, it's doing good. I'll start rotating again. So right now you're just getting a nice sear around them. And then once you get that, you can put your lid on good.
Turn the grease down a little bit.
And turn the grease down a little bit. Put that one that way. Boy, that looks good. Purdy chicken, y'all. Purdy. Purdy chicken.
If your breading is not sticking on your chicken, the best thing to do is let it sit there before you fry it for 10 minutes. And when it looks wet, and you put it in there, the breading will stay on it.
All right, really, these are brown. So what I'm going to do, I mean, the little ends of them aren't. I don't know if I want to stand them up or not, you know.
No, I wouldn't mix that.
So what we're going to do now is, I'm trying to think if that's enough. I guess it is enough grease in there. And I'm going to turn these down. And how long do you cook them with it turned down, Chris?
5 minutes.
And
then you flip it
yeah.
on the other side, cook it 10 minutes.
Okay.
And then you cook it 5 more.
Really?
After you flip it again, cook it 5 more.
All right, we're gonna start the 5 minutes then.
Here we go.
Here we go. Turn your grease down to a low. I'm going to go all the way low on this gas. All right. And then we're going to set the timer for 5 minutes. Now, we're going to teach you how to do this, setting a timer. And Granny never set a timer. She just cooked hers until they look like.
They just cooked it forever.
Yes. But now, when you make chicken like this with the lid on, and you turn it down like this, like we're doing today, it will be so moist. It will be fall off the bone, kind of like Kentucky Fried Chicken's chicken. You know how moist that is and how soft it is. It's delicious. It tastes almost like it's been pressure cooked. That's how this turns out. And it's a lot different than deep fried chicken. So you just got to know how to do it. You got to know how long to cook it so that your chicken gets done when it's bone in. Now our green beans are boiling and they're not going to be done till all that liquid's gone. So we got a long way to go with those, but it's up on high. Up on high. We got our potatoes going in the back. We're going to have some creamed potatoes. And we got it going on. Now, when you got two things cooking right side by side like we do, lots of times the sides that are next to each other, the pan will be hotter, you know, because it's got a flame on both sides of it. So you kind of got to be careful with that too. In other words, chicken on this side and this side is going to be hotter just because the skillets are close together.
You don't have to do anything.
I know,
Leave
it's
it
just so hard to not want to open it. But since it's down on low, you don't have to open it. Okay? So I'm just going to clean up my mess. That's part of cooking too. Part of cooking too, y'all. So I rinse these out and put them in the recycle.
I noticed we had some people from Pennsylvania. Did I say that? Pennsylvania and Ohio?
I don't know.
On there earlier.
Y'all, this is such an old dishwasher. It's still got that big fat eye in the bottom.
Yeah.
And it works wonderful. It is a good dishwasher. I don't even know what brand it is. I think it's General Electric. But it's an old school one now, and it works good. I guarantee you if we got another one, it wouldn't work near as good as this one. And I'm not making gravy today and biscuits.
This is, somebody was asking about this. It's a Jaccard.
Jaccard.
Food meat flipper, pigtail meat.
Pigtail meat hook. And if you go on Amazon, go to our website and go through our links, please. And if you go on Amazon and do that, and you see those cheaper brands, a lot of y'all get them, and you're going to be so disappointed when you get it in the mail because the hooks on them are huge. They look like something you would use outside for the grill, you know. So don't get the cheaper one. Splurge and spend the extra $10 so that you will have something you will use for the rest of your life. And it stays sharp. I don't put it in the dishwasher because you want it to stay sharp. You want it to stay sharp. I want to say this. This is what I'm going to say. I got to keep y'all entertained. I have people tell me all the time that I put my hands in dishwater and I don't rinse my hands. And it just blows my mind. And I'm thinking, I use that dishwater to wipe off everything like this, my countertops, and you don't rinse that. So what makes you think you got to rinse your hands? It's just weird to me that people think that. So what I want to know is, if you use your dishwater to wipe off your countertops? And if you do you turn around and rinse it? Because they say it puts a film on it. I've never heard that in my life. So that's what I want to know. Some people have the strangest beliefs. And if you're a new cook, I'm here to tell you, as Collard Valley cooks, you don't have to rinse your hands.
But you can.
But you can.
Or if you got a whole lot of soap in your water. Maybe you over soap your water. How about that? Some people. All right, it's chicken time.
Chicken. All right, we're going to turn it over, completely over.
Yep.
And cook it 10 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are going to be on here for a while. All right. And it's going to get dark, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't turn that one completely over.
It don't matter because you're going to flip it again at some point.
See, that one's in the middle. I might ought to move it a little bit.
The less you move them, the better.
Well, I'm going to rotate it. You come here to me. All right. These ain't near as hot over here. Isn't that weird? See how that one's darker next to that skillet?
Yep.
The other skillet? I'm going to have to turn this side up a hair. It just ain't doing the same as the other one.
Well, it's going to cook 10 minutes on that side.
Yeah.
So
I said a
you may
hair.
end up
I'm
having
just going
to
to turn it up a hair.
cut this other one down.
Let me just look at them both. I'm going to set my timer first.
Go for it.
Timer 10. Now look, we're giving y'all these minutes because this is bone-in chicken. And of course, they're both on. This is bone-in chicken. That's as low as that one goes. And you got to make sure it's done.
I wonder if it's a difference in that cast iron too. I wonder if one of these skillets.
Well, this one's really old, so it's thinner on the bottom.
Yeah, that may be what it is.
Over time, they get thinner. Yeah. And I don't really know what brand this one is, but you can tell by the rim of it how much. Look at the difference in the rims.
Yeah.
That one's really thin. Let them see it. They ain't got nothing else to do. Look how thin that rim is and how thick this rim is.
Oh,
this is a newer one.
Yeah, that's a whole lot different.
So it is, they are.
Yeah, it probably makes a difference.
It probably makes a difference in how they're cooking.
Does that fit on there good? Or is it?
Yeah. I mean, good enough.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an old skillet. All right. Now, when you do chicken this way, you want to make sure you got a vent hole in the top of your skillet lid. This is a brazier, okay? Its top does not have a vent hole because with a brazier in a Dutch oven, all the moisture stays in the food, so it can't escape the lid. That's the difference in a brazier and a saucepan or a skillet, is that the brazier is more like the Dutch oven and nothing can escape it, okay? If you don't have a lid for a brazier that doesn't have a hole, then it's not truly a brazier, all right? And the reason I didn't fry the chicken in this is because it doesn't have a vent hole. You need that vent hole to fry chicken. what makes these really good is once that liquid starts coming out of there, see? Once that starts coming out of there, they're going to sizzle and they're going to glaze. They're going to be good, good. And the potatoes, I just cut up real thin, and they're already pretty much done. But we'll mix these up the last 5 minutes of our chicken cook time. We got it going on. Got it going on. See, it didn't take a lot of grease to fry that chicken. You just got to be patient. And it takes 10 minutes or so to prep it. And it takes 20 minutes to cook it. So
really
it's
about 25 once you sear it and all that. It takes a while. Yeah.
Actually, it's
25.
10.
A good 25 to 30 minutes.
Yeah. So, I mean, you got to take time and be patient and don't get, in a rush. And y'all know with me that's hard because I rush everything. I don't know if you're new to Collard Valley Cooks or not, but let me talk to y'all a minute if you are, because we got all this time on our hands. We'll keep an eye on these beans. Well, let me just say this. Do y'all see? Come to this direction. All right. Do you see how the liquid is bubbling on the sides of the pan? You can kind of see it just kind of sizzling. It's that oil and that sugar creates a glaze. And the reason you want to cook it in a nonstick versus a stainless steel or cast iron is because it's much easier to deglaze the sides like this when it's nonstick to get all that flavor in your beans. That's the whole reason I tell you to use a nonstick. Okay, it doesn't have to be my green bean pot as long as it's a nonstick something. And if you want to have supper done in 20 minutes instead of 30 minutes, it's best to use a larger, it's best for the beans to be spread out on the bottom so that...
Bigger surface.
Yeah, because more of the liquid evaporates quicker. Okay, so then the smaller the pot, the longer it's going to take to get that water out of there.
CollardValleyCooks.com. Somebody asked about where the Amazon page is. So everything is on CollardValleyCooks.com. All the recipes, everything.
Just type in Collard Valley Cooks under your
there.
Google search.
Yep.
And you'll find the website and click on Shop Kitchen, and it'll show you top sellers will be what a lot of this stuff is in. If it's not in top sellers, then you just look at the category. But the food fork the food hook is in top sellers and utensils. Lord, we're out of eggs over here, Chris. Let's fill it up. Let's give us something to do.
We're just out of eggs over there. We got plenty of eggs on the table.
Y'all look at these eggs. And we give them away. I've given them to the pool man this week, my neighbors this week. We'll take some to the kids. We took some across the street to a neighbor. And we still got plenty of them. So I'm just deglazing it right now. This is not my favorite brand. Green Giant's probably my least favorite green bean brand, actually. My favorite is Aldi's and Del Monte's. But, you get what you get and you don't pitch fit when stuff's on sale. Right? See how little they cut their beans? That's the Green Giant brand. A lot of y'all might like them. It's all in what you get used to. Let's fill this up while we're waiting on those. I think you're about done. Just turn them off, Chris.
What?
The beans.
How about the potatoes? Can I turn them off?
Yes, you can turn off the potatoes. All right, let's fill this up. We've got a chicken that lays speckled eggs, y'all. Let me turn the slide on right here. And for some reason, her shells are thinner than our other chicken eggs. I am going to take all of the light colored ones and the blue ones to May and their kids where she works are going to color eggs. So I'm going to put all the dark ones in here because I'm giving her all the light ones. You got to be careful or you'll bust them. And then we put them in here, and then we just get them from the bottom as we use them. Chris is just looking over there instead of videoing.
Well, I was wondering about that chicken that's in that one pan, how dark it is.
Oh.
If we needed to flip it early.
That's most of the dark ones. Those are light for the kids. Let me get the other thing. I don't know how many eggs they want for those kids.
This is a rack that is made for eggs. It's not a spice rack. And you can see how the eggs fit on it.
Yeah, and they're dirty, but I leave them dirty because you don't have, if you leave them dirty, they're good longer.
If you wash them, you have to refrigerate them.
Yeah.
If you leave them in their natural state, they can stay out for weeks, really, I think.
All right, that's all the dark ones. And it should be about time. I'm going to rinse my hands off since I touched all of them. And then we are going to flip our chicken. It's a minute, so I'd say it's okay. I mean, these aren't big breasts, so let's do this one first.
Yeah. There's the smoke. That's not too dark, is it?
Lord, it's not up enough. Did you turn it down?
You turned it down. It's frying. It's up. I mean, if it's frying, it's frying.
It's barely frying, Chris.
Yes.
I mean, the stuff's wanting to fall off of it a little bit. So y'all are going to see two completely different colors of chicken because of the different skillets. That just goes to show it makes a difference even in what you're using as to how your chicken's going to look.
Mm-hmm.
This is the last 5 minutes, right?
Yep.
Because at this point, the crust is getting kind of soggy like. I'm going to turn the temperature up because I don't want soggy chicken. You know, Kentucky Fried Chickens is kind of that way, in a way. Next 5 minutes, y'all. Next 5 minutes. And I think I fixed this one just a little bit. We're just going to have some dark chicken on this side.
And that's not too dark. It's just darker than that other chicken. I mean, that,
Yeah.
to me, looks good.
All right, y'all, we're going to cream potatoes. Everybody wants to know why I call them cream potatoes, because that's what Mama called them. And you know what? I got a real old cookbook, and do you know that it has from the that one I showed y'all that's from the what was it, the extension office?
From the government.
Yeah. Do you know
yes.
that they had a recipe for mashed potatoes and creamed potatoes? I sure did. But they had the creamed potato one in with creamed spinach, potatoes, and peas, I think. And I usually mix this in the sink. I guess it'll reach on this side. I don't want to let go. I don't want to change my. So we're going to put some butter in these potatoes and a little bit of cream and sour cream, salt and pepper. And boy, we're about ready to eat, y'all. It's taken a while, hasn't it? But it'll be worth it when you bite into that chicken. You know what? I'm going to tell y'all a story. When I was a kid, my granny would make this. She also made fried chicken livers a lot. And when she called us in, we would always be out in the yard. We lived on a farm. And she would call us in and she would holler. This is how she hollered. Y'all?
You got a microphone.
I know. She'd say, y'all, get in here. It's time to eat lunch. Like that. And she'd go, Albert, for her husband. It was just so funny. And anyway, we'd all come in and she'd make sure our hair was tied up out of our eyes, and she would use her quilt strings and tie our long hair up, make us go wash our hands before we came to the table. So we had to have our hair tied up and wash our hands before we could come to the table. Do y'all remember stuff like that from growing up? I sure do. It was so much fun being down at Granny's playing with all my cousins. We would get leaves off the trees. We had a mimosa tree. Is that what they're called, Chris? They look like ferns, and they have pink blooms, and they have seed pods that look like it's kind of like a snap pea. And we would use the seed pods for cash, and then we would use the beans for change. And we would have an event. I don't know if y'all did this or not, but everybody's house was on a foundation where I grew up. And so I got to put a little bit of cream in there. Everybody's house was on a foundation. So we had vents, and there would always be a vent in the garage, even if there was nothing in there. I don't know why it was that way, but it was at my granny's and our house. And we would do a drive-through window through the vents, be on one side and the other one be on the other side, and we would pretend that we were going through the drive-through using those mimosa pea pods and
no credit cards.
Change. Well, Lord, no, we didn't know what a credit card was. Boy, we had fun. All right, I'm going to taste this, see if it's salty enough. No. I cooked more potatoes than I normally do. So my normal wasn't enough. I like to tell y'all stories. I know y'all got some too. Boy, them look good. Now that is what I call creamed potatoes. Okay? Now, Mama didn't use sour cream. We didn't even eat sour cream when I was growing up. That wasn't a staple at our house like it's a staple at everybody's house now, because everybody eats Mexican food and loves sour cream. But when we were growing up, there wasn't no such thing. I bet there wasn't at your house either, was it, Chris?
Oh, Lord, no.
Nobody had sour cream when we were growing up. So Mama just used
we had some milk that went not go bad. Nah, our milk didn't go bad because we drank it.
I was going to say.
we never had any milk go bad.
All right, we're going to get this skillets out first. This is a thinner skillet, and they were cooked at the same temperature because my stove only goes down so low, y'all. And you don't want to leave them sitting on the paper towel too long because they'll get soggy. But you're going to start them off on a paper towel. I'm behind you, baby.
Now, these are a lot different than
way different
than deep fried chicken. It's very different texture, the way the chicken is.
It's completely different. It really is soft like Kentucky Fried Chickens. I'm not kidding. And it don't taste like Kentucky Fried Chickens. It tastes like Granny's because it's got salt and pepper on it, and that's it. But man, it is good. Chris loves it. Don't you, baby?
Yep.
Now that would make some really good gravy.
Yeah.
But we ain't making gravy today. So let me put the lids back on here. I don't want to get popped or nothing. And that's it. That's our lunch.
And see, that's not much oil. I mean, that's if you're,
it's a lot cheaper than
yeah,
using a whole big deep thing of oil. And you wouldn't if you're frying a lot of chicken, you would have to use 2 skillets unless you want to wait another 20 minutes before you feed everybody and make another pan. That's just up to you. But we'll make us a plate.
Now, really, with this chicken, we've been on here a long time, but really, you need to let that chicken sit about 7 or 8 minutes before you try to eat it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna cut into it with a fork because I don't want to get burnt.
Yeah, because it's hot. It needs to rest so it can be just right. But
I'm glad y'all stayed with us, and for all of y'all that could handle us the whole way, man, are y'all great. Right, Chris?
Yep.
You know what? We love all of y'all so much. And if you're new, make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you comment. We did a video yesterday that if you watch on TV, Chris shows you how to interact because it really helps our channel because it makes a big difference. YouTube this year has changed a few things. So we would just truly like for y'all to do that for us. It would help us greatly. Doesn't that look delicious? Who else on here cooks live? That's what I want to know. Y'all tell me. I want to know who is a YouTuber that cooks a full meal like I do live. Can you just give me their names? I want to know who they are. Not videoed and edited, but live like I do. The full meal from start to finish. Now that looks good, don't it, y'all? Don't that look delicious? And I'm going to tell you, you can't beat it. You can't beat our green beans, and you can't beat my creamed potatoes, and you can't beat Granny's fried chicken. We got some good recipes. This chicken recipe is in our Volume 4 cookbook, and these 2 side recipes are in our Volume 1 cookbook, and you can find all these recipes on the website as well. Let's just mix this up and get a bite. All right, let's cut this with a knife. This is such a pretty plate. I don't want to mess it up. I think I'm going to get me another thing to cut the chicken on. I probably should have used white anyway since I'm doing chicken. Well, let me show y'all how soft this is. I'll cut one of each. One that's dark and one that's light. I need to get them off this paper towel by now. Let me get them off. You don't want them to sweat too much. All right. I mean, it's just so tender. It's crazy how good it is. Oh, it smells so good. It smells just like Granny's. It's just like being back in her kitchen all over again. I'm not kidding. It is worth every minute. I guarantee you. And I'm not exaggerating, y'all. I guarantee you, if you make this recipe and you follow the directions and you set your timers, if you're used to your granny making chicken when you were a kid and you live, no matter where you live, if she just salt and peppered it and fried it in a skillet like that, you're going to be so happy to make this recipe. That's what this channel is all about, bringing you old recipes that Mama made. We will see you next time on Collard Valley Cooks, cooking like Mama did. We love you, and we'll see you next time. Happy Sunday.